Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Absolutely crazy. Hey, yo, who got the yayo? Who got the yayo? Because somebody out here testing positive for cocaine. And it's not even funny. Now this is the thing. Joseph Parker, let me show you this right. Oh, guess I'm not showing you anything, huh? Let's go here. Where is it? Right here. All right. So in case y'all didn't know, Joseph Parker, 33, faces years out with boxing ban after former world champion tests positive for cocaine. There is a precedent for long bans for positive cocaine tests. So what this means is Joseph, damn, what happened to my damn camera? There it is. Joseph Parker could be up out of boxing for quite some time. Now, it's not a matter of me agreeing or disagreeing. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Now, him testing positive for cocaine. I don't know what to think about that. Except he tested positive. But my thing is, when he knew he was going to face Fabio Wardley, everyone knew Wardley hit hard. That Wardley was a problem inside the ring. Young, strong, durable, and could crack. We got to find out more about old Joseph Parker here. But for me, putting on chapstick. What y'all think I just got this weird habit of rubbing my lips and shit? Probably think I'm doing cocaine. Nah, man, Hood Champion ain't on the yayo. But I was sitting here wondering, man, let's just assume that there's some foul play there with Joseph Parker. Maybe there's a way you can take that cocaine to numb you up and get in that ring knowing you're about to get a beating. And, unfortunately, he tests positive on the test. I don't know, but it's crazy. But when you go through this article here by The Sun, the UK edition, what it just goes on to tell you is that he's 33 years old and he passed positive for his drug test. And the thing is, they took the drug test the day of his fight with Fabio Wardley. That's absolutely crazy. So the day of his fight, when he gets in the ring with Fabio Wardley, he's goddamn zooted on the yayo. And maybe, if everything proves to be true that he was on it, then maybe he needed crackhead power to defeat Fabio Wardley. But whatever the hell he was doing, it didn't work because Fabio Wardley put the bing-bings on him. And I hate to sit here. I just hate learning about this about Joseph Parker because his comeback story's been amazing. Man has 6 kids now. He finally got a son. He went through some crap before, man, where I might as well let me get through this. I'm going to show you. He went through some stuff many years ago where his name was attached to, a crime syndicate and some money laundering. A lot of people don't know about it. I've done several videos on that. And, he was proven, I guess, he never had to go to court. So I guess it wasn't enough evidence, supposedly, to try to prosecute him. But the bottom line is his name was attached to stuff in the past. So for me, I'm not really shocked that his name popped up as far as, him and cocaine, but I'm just surprised to know that he came up positive on a test. And especially the day of his fight with Fabio Wardley. That just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But he was tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency on the 25th. And, of course, the adverse findings came back. Now, here we go. This is where he has the opportunity for the B sample. But they say that, most cases the A and B samples come back the same. Now, the cocaine metabolite, I'm not even worried about trying to pronounce it. It sounds like I got peanut butter in my mouth. But it says that the traces usually remain in urine for around 4 days. So that means Parker must have contracted the drug in the fight week. Damn, man. That's not good. So at some point in time, he came in contact with that stuff, and it was during fight week. That's sad, man. My thing is this, right? I'm gonna get back to that article. My thing is, what is he doing? What is he doing around that? That's all I'm saying. What is he doing around cocaine? We know, I don't want to bring nobody else's name into this, but if you follow boxing, you know who he's really close with, and makes you wonder if he done went out there and got himself caught up in some BS. He's being around the wrong company and doing the wrong things. But who knows? Could have been doing this for a long time. We just don't know. But it's just really unfortunate, man, to be around that. Like, my thing is, what are you doing to where you can go take a urinalysis and it will yield an adverse finding for cocaine? Who are you around? What are you touching? I know that, handling shit is something that can, trigger a positive test. But my thing is, what are you doing handling it? So, he needs to come out and talk. But as of right now, VADA will hand everything over to UCAD, and that's the British Boxing Board and the British Boxing Board of Control, where they're going to see about, punishing him. You know what I'm saying? It's just really unfortunate. So my thing is, Parker is 33, but he's been around the sport for a long time. Could get a 2-year ban, and his whole run of, although he had a loss against Fabio Worley, it wasn't that bad of a loss. A lot of people felt that they stopped the fight prematurely. So you would have figured that Joseph Parker would have been right back into another big fight pretty quick. But with this is going to derail his career, man. 2 years. So come back 35, 36, unless he can, if he's got the connections that I believe he has, and anybody who follows the channel, you know what I'm talking about. Because Joseph Parker's got some serious-ass connections, and he's messing with people who have serious connections. I know this for a fact. He may be able to swerve this whole thing, and it be turned into a scandal, basically he may be able to continue his boxing career without any issues, which I think is unfortunate, because I'm going to watch this because I look at Hannah Gabriel's. She had the issue with her dog when she was getting ready for the Clarissa Shields rematch. Secret Society did her wrong. She's never really been able to get her career back on track. She's trying now. So this is a good situation for me to sit here and kind of put the hairy eyeball on, and let's see how they handle him. Is he going to be given a 2-year ban, 1-year ban, 6-month ban, or no ban at all? What's going to be the excuse they come up with? That's what I want to know. You see, cocaine's a recreational drug, man. So he didn't test positive for PEDs. And it says there's a precedent for heavy bans following positive tests for cocaines. Cameron was given a 4-year ban in 2019. Damn. Let's see if we can pronounce this word here. Benzoylic ganine. So benzoylic ganine. Maybe mispronounced that. Yeah, benzoylic ganine, a metabolic acid of cocaine. But it said rules have changed, where there was a rugby league star received a ban for just 3 months after the positive cocaine test. A 3-month ban. I guess he gets back in the ring. Parker said that for the camp, he had his wife and children in Ireland and London with him. A source close to the camp said they were shocked. He said he had his whole family, and that's my thing. He had his whole family around him, so where did he find time to end up having access to that stuff and having it around him, man? That's crazy. The camp had gone great. He put on a good performance and a great fight. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So this right here is telling you what is cocaine, the cocaine metabolite, right? So it's the main inactive metabolite of cocaine. So here's a simple breakdown. I need to read this. Why it's significant. Okay. What is a metabolite? When you ingest a drug like cocaine, your body breaks it down into other substances. These new substances are called metabolites. Okay. Now, the benzoylic gonine is a specific substance that cocaine is converted into as it's processed by the body. Why is this important for drug testing? This is the key point. The high from cocaine is short-lived because the active cocaine is cleared from the bloodstream very quickly, within a few hours. However, the benzoylic gonine metabolite stays in the body for much longer. It can be detected in urine for several days or even longer in heavy users after the cocaine was last used. For this reason, standard drug tests, like urine, blood, hair tests, almost never look for cocaine itself. They look for benzoylic gonine. Its presence is the definitive proof that a person has recently used cocaine. Damn. Bam, 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 bam. Shit. So, obviously, he had to be using the shit. Damn, Joseph Parker. Should have held your horses and not took it to the stupid. Sun Sports understands Parker is on holiday. He's chilling right now. Parker missed the WBC imposed drug test because of a holiday in 2017. Oh, see, this is what happens, man. They start digging. Parker previously missed a World Boxing Council imposed drug test because of a holiday in 2017. And he's on holiday right now. Wow. His promoter at the time confirmed he missed the test after his win due to the break. That's crazy. Says a couple of weeks ago, drug tester went to his residence in Vegas, and he had said he was going to be in camp there, but he had changed his plans. It was in Samoa at the time. There's no hiding. It's an oversight. Damn. Okay. So they try to contact Queensberry, man, to see what's going on. While the matters is being invested. So nobody's really saying much, you know what I'm saying? Damn, man, that is crazy. Joseph Parker. Out here, man, testing positive for damn PEDs. Are you kidding me, man? Just absolutely crazy. Makes you wonder, man, what in the hell will make somebody want to come out here and do that crap? All the positive stuff Joseph Parker's had going on since he had the back-to-back defeats to Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, to go on a really impressive run. He was probably the most active heavyweight at that time, hooked up with Tyson Fury, and his career just really turned around. Ran into Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce put the bing bings on him, but then continued with his career, coming off of 3 really impressive wins over Deontay Wilder, Jalise, and Bacoli. Just to come out here now and, lose a fight and then find out that you're doing cocaine. Joseph Parker, what you doing, man? A lot of people like and respect Joseph Parker, man. He's just because you out here doing cocaine don't mean you're not a bad person. You know what I mean? I've met some crackheads that were pretty cool and down to earth, but when you finish the conversation, they want to ask you for $5 and shit. Nothing wrong with that, You either go give them the $5 or you're not. I wasn't giving him nothing, but anyway, man, more to come on Joseph Parker. I just can't believe that he's come out here and do that to himself. Like, my question to him would really be, what are you doing, man? You got it. You know what I'm saying? He really was doing the business. He was that guy. I just don't understand what he was thinking about. But this just lets you know, man, get more to come. Let's just wait and see what he says. I want to hear what he has to say. But it looks to me like caught red-handed, the way that broke that down about that substance, And this is what happened. It's sending shockwaves throughout the boxing world, Like, nobody would have guessed that Joseph Parker, who's viewed as one of the good guys, respectful, humble, soft-spoken, nobody would have believed that he'd be such a reckless athlete, man. I just don't understand. Like, for me, it's like a complete contradiction to his long-standing reputation. So, whatever. Fans, promoters, journalists, everybody right now, even me, man, we're just like I said, it's confusion. I'm not even angry. I'm just like, what the hell happened? But obviously, he's got to figure it out because this positive cocaine test, this shit hits different. This ain't just like somebody testing positive for taking something for high blood pressure, even smoking weed. The cocaine test is different from PEDs, man. It actually harms the athletic performance, is what I believe. I'm about to go jogging. This damn vest is tight. But anyway, it doesn't make the story any smaller just because he's taking something that, would take away from his performance. You know what I'm saying? I guess my question is, when I look at Joseph Parker, my thing isn't, why is he cheating? Because he wasn't cheating, obviously. What the hell is he going through? Who is he around? What's he going through? A lot of people who do cocaine, they seem to be having some kind of, to me, that implies some kind of emotional stress, some kind of burnout, some spiraling habits or a private war that they're fighting behind closed doors. Like, Joseph Parker could have been stressing over the fact he wasn't getting the Usyk fight, and he's put so much work in. Who knows? But that shit just doesn't add up to me, man. And to get it on the day of the fight, and the fight that ended controversially, I just don't understand. But the commission that's involved, they're going to review the lab findings. They're going to do a cross-checking type procedures and give Parker an opportunity to respond. And, of course, you got the B sample still. But the bottom line is not a PED. It's still banned under WADA and USADA. But Parker's going to face a suspension. He's going to face a fine. But if he's able to swerve that just lets you know the secret society is in full effect. But his loss will still stand. It's not like Wardley tested positive. Parker's loss is still going to stand. And this whole thing about overturning decisions when it comes to these positive cocaine tests, look, historically it's been inconsistent with overturning positive cocaine tests. Now, I guess it depends on where you're at, but for the most part, if you test positive for cocaine, that shit sticks to you. But his reputation is taking a big shot. Serious impact to his reputation, man. Wherever he goes, you got to understand the biggest damage is reputation, is your brand. We've been talking a lot about Clarissa Shields and branding. Good example of someone being considered a good guy, a nice guy. No, he had the little shit about the money laundering back in the day, but no true scandals, no outbursts, never involved in no street crap, nothing, no failed tests, nothing, man. But now when you have something like this, it puts a stain on that image, because people start digging. When people get a little bit of information, something like this, they start digging. They be like, did this happen once? Has it been ongoing? Is this something new? Was Parker dealing with personal pressure? Is this recreational, deeper use? Has he been set up? Was he not set up? Did he need it to, try to mask the pain so he can go in there? It's people just start going crazy with the storylines. But when a fighter with a clean image slips, the fall is harder because people didn't see it coming. I didn't see. You couldn't have told me Parker would have tested positive for no damn cocaine. I'm not shocked, but I wasn't expecting it. But the reason I'm not shocked is because of what his name was mixed up in back in the day, and because he's out there between the UK, Ireland. UK and Ireland, I just know, certain people were mixed up in that bullshit and who he associates with. So, that's why it's like, well, slightly shocked, but not overwhelmed with shock. It's just like the eyebrows raised. Like, oh, him too, huh? But why would a fighter use cocaine during camp or after a fight? Especially during fight week. And this is where the psychological side matters. We know fighters are under pressure, financial, family, trainer expectations, self-expectations, the weight of a country. You got their careers they're worried about. Boxing's lonely, mentally brutal, and is not very forgiving, man. So I did some research. Where can we find it? About cocaine and shit. Okay, here it is. It says cocaine use among fighters generally stems from coping with stress, a moment of escape, post-fight emotional drops, depression, high energy lifestyle, bad influences, which is what I think, self-medication for anxiety, or trying to feel something after the emotional crash of a big fight. It doesn't excuse it, but it helps to explain how common this pattern is in combat sports. And the suspensions now between 3 to 12 years could be 3 to 12 months, could be 2 years. But there'll be a hearing, there'll be a suspension, there'll be a financial penalty, and he may have to go through some mandatory drug counseling and rehab recommendations, but people just need to understand cocaine is not a PED. Suspension is often lighter, but public humiliation lasts much longer and hurts the fighter far more than the suspension. I think that's what you got with Joseph Parker. So sit back and see what happens. They may overturn it, like I said, but they may find a way to overturn all this shit, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I just look at him going forward. Going forward, he got to figure some things out. He just had a major career resurgence. Now the positive cocaine test derails his momentum. So, I wonder what's going to happen with his reputation, with his working relationship with Frank Warren. Network's going to want to put him out there. If he had any sponsors or any endorsement deals, they may, shy away from him and shit. Boxing's a brutal business, man. Not because the fights are hard, but because that public image is money. Public image is money. And negativity drains ticket sales, and it disrupts TV negotiations. So it is what it is, man. Let me copy this right here. Joseph Parker got to figure it out. His career is frozen. But you had Mike Tyson bounce back, De La Hoya, Tyson Fury, Cesar Chavez. And Tyson Fury's comeback is very important, this whole thing with him bouncing back from cocaine scandals. He did admit to drug addiction, ballooned in weight, dealt with depression, came back to become heavyweight champion. I've never done any drugs. I've never smoked weed. I've never done anything. So I don't understand why a person would pursue that shit. I used to drink back in the day, drink a little alcohol, a little rum, scotch and coconut water, get my little Long Islands, the amaretto sours with orange juice. So I used to drink back in the day, but I haven't drank alcohol in 15, 16 years, something like that. I have no interest in it. And I wasn't a big drinker either, But we'll see how he can bounce back. I just think if they kill his career for 2 years, I think it's over. I do, man. It's just sad to see if, in fact, he's using that because he's struggling from stress or anxiety, depression. That's sad, man. That's why I say all that money don't mean shit. Have all the money in the world and still not be happy. But let's just wait for the B sample and see what happens. But I'll tell you what, man. Parker was in line for, I think he still was going to get himself an opportunity at a world title. I think he had, was in line for more big heavyweight fights and huge money. And this shit just delays all the possibilities. So I don't see any promoter trying to invest millions in a fighter who's dealing with potential suspension or a reputation issue. Joseph Parker, everybody referred to him as one of the good guys. Now they can't. They're going to just be like, oh, he's the nice crackhead or the nice cokehead, And that's exactly what happened to him. So is his legacy ruined? I don't know. It's not ruined, but it's damaged for sure. It's going to be attached to his name for the rest of his life. The rest of his life. That's how it's going to go. The slip-up, man, really hurt him. And we'll just have to see, man. I just think he needs to acknowledge the issue, accept responsibility if, in fact, this is something that he was doing. He needs to just be honest, take the suspension, return with discipline and humility. There's a lot of people who are cokeheads. There's a lot of people who go through it, If you need help, get help, Don't try to deflect the scandal. We know Parker's going to want to try to restore his image ASAP. It'll take time. It's not impossible, but it's going to take time. But my thing again is just, how did this shit happen and how's he going to respond? That's what I want to know. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. It's about time for me to go do my jog in the breeze.